Lincoln.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM. We're streaming on the web at WLCNonline.com, and you can follow us on Twitter. It's the Kirby and Kirby show this morning. Good morning, Loyd.
Classing things up. Good morning to you, Mr.
So it will be an intelligent show. We are at the high school for the kickoff of the 2017-2018 Railer basketball season. They're practicing in the gym right now as we speak. We are out in the lobby, which kind of hard to get to this morning, Loyd. They got some things torn up out there. They got the concrete all tore up, getting some new concrete in, and
I thought maybe we were doing a special segment with like American Gladiator, and you had to like swing over the pit and climb the mud wall.
Well,
to get in.
I'm not sure how Jim got in here. Maybe that's how he did it, but
that would explain why we're the only ones who made it.
Yeah.
Our colleagues are.
We got some other guys missing in action. Joe, I think he's out over in Arizona. He went to see his Cardinals get beat by the Seahawks.
Which they did.
So wherever he goes, I think he should probably just stay home, because wherever Joe goes, the team that he's really supporting and rooting, they lose.
That's true. It would be his best contribution as a fan would just be to stay away.
Stay away. For all you guys out there that like to place some bets, just find out where Joe's at that week and take the opposite team.
You should do the opposite.
So yeah. And Jake, we just never know where that boy's at.
He's a wild card.
He's a wild card, and just because he owns a company, a business, a furniture place, he just kind of makes up his own hours, I guess.
I guess that's one of the perks of doing that.
Well, that's fine. It'll be me and you this morning.
Alrighty.
A cold Saturday morning, November 11th. And
yes, it is 11/11.
Wow, Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
It is, and I'm thankful for you because you got this nice agenda for us to go by, so I can just, it's like interchangeable parts. I just pop in here at the last minute. You've got everything scripted out, intelligent conversation, insightful commentary, just what your listeners want.
Well, I try, Loyd, and thank you for that. Speaking
thank you for that.
Take a look at our agenda, and let's go over the first topic, Loyd.
All right. You were going to recap the WNBA season here, it says?
Oh, WNBA. Okay. I didn't.
Oh, wait, this is an old copy of the agenda.
Yeah. Back when people cared.
Back when you had magenta ink.
Yeah. I just want to find a printer that it's just black ink. That's all I need. You go out and buy these printers these days, and if you don't have magenta, well, then you can't even print anything that's black. You have to have it. And
that's true. Black
for some reason
of all colors. So.
Well, there's also a black cartridge. So just let me use that. I don't need the other colors. Every time you seem to go to print something,
I know you've got a little bee in your bonnet about a little, shall we say, special project that you've got in mind. You make that black cartridge thing work. Sell it to some big computer company,
and that's our.
There's your
our funds.
Your capital, yes.
Capital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loyd, way to shoot down my dreams.
How am I shooting it down? I'm encouraging you. I'm giving you ideas.
Yeah, because
you can go on, take it on Shark Tank or something.
Pretty sure it's already been done.
Then why can't you find it anywhere?
Well, you're probably not looking real hard, Loyd.
All right.
Anyway, this is a sports show. Like I said, we were at the high school for the kickoff of the season. The boys are practicing right now. Today is their free throw-a-thon, a big day for them as far as fundraiser. People don't realize how much it does cost to run a program. A lot of these away games, which this year we're going to have some away games, and you got to feed the kids. So this fundraiser is an opportunity to bring in some money to feed these kids for these long bus trips that they're going to have to Effingham, Charleston, and then we go up to Rock Island, and other things. Plus it helps them get their shoes and stuff like that. So a big fundraiser today. They'll be practicing until 9:15, and then their free throw-a-thon from 9:30 to whatever, and then they'll have pictures. So a big day for them. They've already got a week under their belt of practice, 2-a-days. So they'll have one more week of 2-a-days, I do believe, and then they'll kick off their season, the Thanksgiving tournament, the Eaton Electrical Thanksgiving tournament here in Roy S. Anderson on the new court, the new floor.
The new floor, Monday, November 20th.
November 20th?
9 days away.
Yep. I was just kind of peeking in there just a minute, and I see they have the new banners up for the Apollo, which is kind of neat. Central State 8 banners are gone, and they've got the new ones up. The ones I can see right now, Mount Zion Braves, Taylorville Tornadoes. And maybe at break I'll get up, take a little gander over there, and see how it looks.
You should do that.
I will do that, Loyd.
I didn't know you could gander.
Just take a little gander.
It sounds painful.
What else going on in the sports world, Loyd?
Well, college basketball kicked off.
College basketball did kick off. Yes, Illinois with a huge win last night, 100-52. Follow up a loss they had against Eastern last week, which we've already talked about. So Illinois with their first win under their belt. They'll be playing again tomorrow. Speaking of basketball, the Lincoln Lady Railers are kicking off their season as well. You can join the Lady Railers basketball team for the new fundraiser on December 2nd. Visit with Santa, December 2nd, 1:30 to 3 at Northwest Elementary School. Located at, I can't even read that, 306 11th Street or 506?
Just get on 11th Street and start driving.
Yeah, look for Northwest Elementary School.
And 11th Street, that's between 10th and 12th.
Yeah. The Lady Railers basketball team is hosting a Visit with Santa. Professional photos taken. They're going to have crafts, cookie decorating, Christmas games, a bake sale, hot chocolate, silent auction. It's a $5 entry fee per participant, no age limit. You can find them on Facebook at Lincoln Lady Railer Basketball for more details.
No age limit. Are you going?
Who doesn't want to go visit with Santa?
Exactly.
I mean, come on, that's a no-brainer, Loyd.
We will see you there then.
Oh, so you'll be there.
Well, you said it's a no-brainer, and I have no brains, so sounds like I'm eminently qualified.
Let's see. Blake Jones ran last week at State. Do we know how he did?
He did. I saw that he did.
It was a top,
better than last year.
Was it a top 25? I know that was his goal. Let's look through here real quick, because I did read it, but I just can't remember what it said. I want to say top 25, but I could be wrong. Maybe if I could find my agenda.
Yeah, ever since you went digital instead of printing those out, it really, I mean, if we don't have a good connection, then it really does slow down the
process.
The whole process.
Okay, he had new personal record at 15 minutes and 13 seconds. He had a goal top 25, and he placed 17th. So congratulations to Blake Jones.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, and I just see that they had a signing the other day. He'll be going to UIS to continue his cross-country career there as a student athlete at UIS.
What are those? What's the nickname of those teams? Do you know that?
UIS Stars, maybe?
They used to be the Prairie Stars whenever it was Sangamon State. Did they keep that?
I think they may have.
Oh, very cool. I didn't know if they were like.
Are you pulling a Joe on me here?
No, I didn't know if they were like, since they're a University of Illinois affiliate now, are they like?
No, the Little Illini.
Yeah, something like that.
No,
the Prairie Illini, maybe.
Prairie, yeah.
Since they were Prairie Stars.
Yeah, they can't do that. People would protest. So yeah, basketball is in motion. A lot of games on TV last night, and today, tomorrow, and. We got some playoffs going on, which we'll talk about here. Joe's our playoff guy, and obviously he's not here.
He is our go-to guy for the playoffs. And I thought he was going to like email us his just sort of the script and who's playing who and where and whatnot, but I guess he's got better things to do.
Yeah, he's out in Arizona.
I thought you were going on that trip with him.
Well,
he said he was getting you a deal on the airfare. It was only like $99 one way. It was $99, so if you could come up with $400, he could make it happen for you.
Yeah, that's a great deal. Yeah, it was only $99, but then it was $400 for.
I think that's like a finder's fee.
Yeah, how do you go from $99 to $400?
Finder's fee, tax title license, rust proofing.
You can't trust that guy.
I've heard that.
Can't trust him. Can't trust the guy at all. Let's see some other news going on. Just kind of looking through Raylord Nation. Kaylin Froby, she signs with McKendree. And somebody just signed with the Lynx. Let's see here. Boy, yeah, the internet in here is slow. They must have hit a line out there when they were digging.
I think the internet speed takes on the speed of the user, so if your internet is slow,
you're slow. Kaylin Froby, she's gonna, like we said, she'll be playing basketball at McKendree. Blake Jones, cross country, track and field at University of Illinois in Springfield, and Alex Downing, swimming at Lincoln College. So congratulations to those three. A big signing day for them. And sitting out here this morning, Loyd, it's kind of weird, Bryson not being out there practicing. Talking to Jim off air. And it's weird not seeing him here after years and years being out here, and all of a sudden, nothing. So
all of a sudden, nothing.
Yep, they had their first game the other night. So if anybody wants to follow them, didn't fare too well. Played a Division II school, who's ranked in the nation, and a little bit of a blowout, but just an exhibition game, so it didn't count.
That strength of schedule, then later on in the season. That'll help toughen them up. They'll be good to go.
Is that how that works?
That's what I've heard.
All right, well, let's take a commercial break. We come back. We'll talk some IHSA playoff football going on around today and this bitterly cold November day and gloomy. So stay tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM. We are live at the Lincoln Community High School for the kickoff of the 2017-2018 boys basketball season. Doing our fundraiser today, and as always, 96.3 we'll be bringing you play-by-play for every home and away game. And for those of you that aren't able to come to the game or not around your computer, make sure you download the Mixler app. A great app. You can listen to us online. You can listen to everything that 96.3 FM does. You set up a notification, and every time they're broadcasting, you'll get an email or a text telling you that we're on air, and it's a great way to listen to Logan County's #1 sports show
between
9 and 10 on Saturdays.
Yes.
And and then of course everybody's favorite morning show with Jim Ash, and country, and we play the rock and roll at night with Jeff #2. It's just a radio station that offers everything, and there's not one around like it.
There is not.
I mean, they give you two varieties of music and the best variety of sports show entertainment around.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
And what are you doing there?
Social media.
Oh.
Maybe.
A chair.
Yeah.
Is that our guest?
That's actually our colleagues, Jake and Joe.
Yeah. Jake and Joe. It is a playoff Saturday. A lot of local teams still going. Loyd, we look at the 6A bracket. We got Sacred Heart Griffin playing today at 2 p.m. LaGrange Park, Nazareth Academy is going to be coming to town. They're 10-1 on the season with a 2 seed coming to SHG, who is a 6 seed. It looks to me like SHG, this is their maybe 3rd home game in a row. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct.
So that's that doesn't happen a whole lot. It's got to really work out in their favor to do that, which really surprises me. I don't know. That can't be right.
It can't be?
It's
on the internet, so it's got to be true.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know it's a home game. It says right here, but just not sure how they do that in playoffs. As far as you think the higher seed would get the home game.
Makes sense.
But I don't know. It's not how they do things. So that's 6A. SHG will be playing today. Moving on to 5A, Loyd. What's it looking like there?
Well, over in the 5A brackets, of course, they're in the quarterfinals as well, and really the only contests remotely close by. Number 1 seed Dunlap is at home today at 4 p.m. taking on Country Club Hills out of Hillcrest. Peoria Richwoods, 15 seed, is hosting Washington, which is 9-2, and a number 3 seed. That happens at 2 o'clock today. Everyone else in that class is
up
like
north,
Chicago area. Yeah,
that's kind of an intriguing game right there. Peoria Richwoods and Washington, kind of close by schools there. Not too far of a drive for Washington, which this game's going to be played in Peoria at Richwoods. Both solid programs. Richwoods coming in at 7-4, Washington 9-2.
They are. So, what's your pick for the game? What's your assessment?
Oh, my!
What do you think the keys to the game are?
The keys to the game are for one team to have more points than the other, and you're going to be the winner. Okay. As far as predicting, I couldn't even do that. I've never seen either team play, Loyd. Washington's usually a solid football school. But Peoria, even though they got that 15 seed, don't count them out. 7-4, tough conference.
They're doing something right.
Very athletic. So
hats off to them.
I'll let you know next Saturday.
All right, please do.
Moving on down to the 4A bracket, and that's where you'll see Rochester as they take on Heron today. That's a 4 o'clock kickoff. Heron 10-1 on the season. They got the 4 seed. Rochester 11-0 with the 1 seed. The winner will advance on to take on a powerhouse in Highland, they're undefeated this year. They're playing Herscher. Highland, a Southern team that just beat the snot out of Effingham last week. So they're a very good team. So Rochester, who just beat their nemesis last Saturday, Belleville-Altoff,
41-23.
41-23, and so they'll be taking on Heron today. Don't know a whole lot about Heron. They're a Southern school. Southern schools typically play a different style of football than your Northern schools. Are usually a smash mouth, style of football, grinded out, pounded up the middle. Which Rochester, they'll spread it out on you, and they like to get vertical. So should be an interesting game. And just like that, all the other schools are up north. So do we need to give them some recognition or no? You think they're listening?
I don't know. Do we have the rankings of who's listening where?
We haven't done that for a while. Yeah. So maybe
if he would get on that invention, you'd have plenty of printing capabilities.
Let's move on down to 3A, Loyd.
All right, let's.
Where you got Williamsville 11-0 with the 2 seed taking on Byron, who is also 11-0. They're a 3 seed. That game's going to be at Williamsville today at 2. So that should be an interesting and fun game as well. Williamsville, I think they've given up maybe 5 touchdowns all year, if I read that correctly.
Okay.
And Byron, they average 45 points a game. So something's got to give there.
Something has to give.
Is it defense or is it offense? And, it could be a fun game to go watch if you're not doing anything. Travel up 55 to Williamsville there and check that out.
Isn't it down 55?
Up, down, does it really matter? Are we getting technical?
Why start now?
Why, exactly. Pleasant Plains with a 16 seed still playing. They're going to take on Carlinville, who Carlinville just beat Santa Teresa last week in a close one, 40-36. Pleasant Plains, they squeaked by Newton.
Yeah, there's a couple down in that lower bracket there. Vandalia also is a 15 seed. Both of those teams, Pleasant Plains and Vandalia, with 3 losses, which is usually when you get into the quarterfinals, most of the teams 1 loss, no losses, but
well, you look at that. Yeah, you look at that. You say Vandalia 15 seed. You look at that first round matchup. They're taking on a number 2 seed in Fairfield, who is 9-0, and Vandalia took care of them pretty easily, 41-14. So, a lot of these seedings. I mean, it's obviously hard to do, but just
929.
Huh?
929.
But what? Hard to do? That's not even the right phrase, is it?
Okay.
And now it's hard to do now, huh? Okay. Well, anyway, the seedings, they don't really obviously matter a whole lot. That's why you play the game, because you got a 15 seed and a 16 seed in the quarterfinals. Heck,
And
they could
make it to the
they
semifinals.
could make to the semis, and so we'll just have to wait and see. We'll talk about that next Saturday.
Where they play the games on the field and not on paper.
All right, that's 3A. It's moving on down to 2A. I don't know if there's anybody.
Moreau Forsyth.
Oh, yeah, Marora.
Still,
And they're traveling all the way over to Warsaw today. I talked to a guy yesterday. He's making the trip. And that's probably about a 3-hour drive for them from Aurora to Warsaw. Warsaw located over by the old mighty Mississippi. So I think it's a 1 o'clock game today.
You are correct, sir.
And they're taking on Hamilton, West Hancock Co-op. That's Hamilton and Warsaw together. They're 11-0 with the number 1 seed, and Marora traveling all the way over there for that game. So it'd be cold coming off that river. Nice and chilly over there.
Good football weather.
It is great football weather. And then you got Shelbyville and Westville taking on each other down there in Westville. You know where Westville's at, Loyd?
West.
Yep, it's opposite of east. And just for the heck of it, let's take a look at 1A, where you have Athens. They're a 6 seed. They're going to be taking on Bridgeport Red Hill.
You know, hats off to you for that. A lot of people tend to pick apart you when you say certain words and maybe don't pronounce them to, sort of the common, the way most people would pronounce them, but a lot of people would call that Athens, but it is Athens.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that for the encouragement.
No problem. I got your back.
I finally did something right, huh?
Yeah, well.
It's going to be a good day.
Blind squirrel fighting's a nut every once in a while. So.
That's right. Then you got the number 1 seed, Tuscola, who they're always a powerhouse year in, year out. They're going to be at home taking on a 10-1 Carrollton team. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff. So you get down to these rounds, the games all look good, to me. And so let's see. That's about it. Everything else is up north, which we don't talk about.
Although next week, if Jim prints out the rankings for us, and we find out
they may be listening. Yeah,
strong listenership up
we do
north.
have a strong listening base in Canada.
Good day, eh?
Yeah, Hoser. So that's your high school football wrap up for this weekend. A lot of good games. That Williamsville game, I bet you that's going to be a good one, Loyd. So if you're not doing anything today, you should travel up there.
I will. I figured you were going. I'd just get the on-the-spot report from you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to go. I would like to go watch that Rochester game though. So maybe if I get my chores done. Need to mow today, so I'm going to bundle up and mow for one last time.
There you go.
So I can blow all my leaves in the neighbor's yard, so I don't have to worry about it.
I figured you just put them all in the pool.
No, pool is closed.
No. I thought that helped, like, insulate it or something. No?
No. It just makes it dirty.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't have one. Apparently I know nothing about the upkeep. So.
You want one? You can have mine.
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. Well, you can take it down and take it with you when you stop by to get your bagger.
Alrighty.
Well, once again, we're at the high school. I got to get this to Coach Al. It's Tate Sloan's little sheet there. But, at the high school, looks like they're shooting some free throws right now.
Yep.
And for their fundraiser, practice is over. And shooting the free throws for the free throw-a-thon. They've been doing this several years, Loyd. And
I thought they just started a few minutes ago.
Well, they've been doing it since,
Got it.
This fundraiser for years. It's a great fundraiser.
Any idea how much you make on this, the program makes on this fundraiser?
Millions.
Really?
Yeah, it's got to be millions. I mean, I don't know. Oh, all right. Well, hey, let's take another commercial break. We come back. We'll talk about something else. We just don't know what yet, though. Maybe we'll try to get one of the coaches on here and maybe give us a little.
I thought I saw one or two of them kind of jumping at the bit like they wanted to get on the air.
Yeah, they're standing in line. All right, let's take a commercial break. We come back, we'll talk some more sports. So stay tuned. Here are the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM. Good morning. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM, and the show just got a lot more interesting.
Exactly. We doubled our crew size here.
Day young men.
Got Coach Al with us this morning. Coach, another season is upon us. It seems like they just they sneak in and creep in, year out, and before you know it, it's basketball time.
Yeah, and outside weather, it's good to be in the gym, and the back gym was cold this morning, and so we had to fire up the furnace and get it warm. But it is that time, and like I tell the kids, it just seems like they run together, and before you know it, you're going to be graduating. And we've got kids that look at me after they're done and say it's unreal how time flies and how quick it goes. It is a long season, but it disappears pretty quick, and it really makes the winter go pretty quick.
Now we were talking earlier. This is probably the first year in many years that you don't have a grandson out there, and it's weird for me to look in there and not see somebody in there practicing. But tell us a little bit about. You got a week under your belt, and we kind of know what kind of team we have coming in, and we have a solid team, a lot of returning starters. But right now, just kind of relearning things, and they've had a long off season. How are we looking so far?
Well, the first week is basically learning and doing things, and next week it'll be really a much tougher week, and we'll know more after next week. But they are experienced. We're as big as we have been in years, probably going back to the 96, 97, 98, somewhere in there when we had Brian Cook and Zach Lee and the 20 boy and Gabe Rutledge, and that was the biggest team we've had. But this team here has got a lot of size to it. We have a lot of development to do, but it is an exciting team. I think we can be a great defensive team, but we got to make our defense score some points for us.
Right now, you got some kids in there shooting some free throws. It's a big fundraiser for you right now. People don't realize the expense it is to run a program where you have to have some money coming in, because you do feed these kids, and maybe more this year than years in the past, because you do have some longer road trips where you got to feed these kids something.
And they got to have fuel to be able to work and go, and that's one thing that you hear coaches take their meal money away, or we won't feed them if they don't play well or something. I totally disagree with that, and I've always disagreed with that the kids have got to eat and continue to play, and that's just a side thing. It's just an automatic that they're going to get fed afterwards and so forth. So with the longer trips, there may be some meals that we may have to eat on the road going, and then have to feed them afterwards. You just don't know, but it's a trial and error right now. We got to see how it's going to be on all the ones that we go to and so forth. So, but we're looking forward to it. It's a change. And working on the program for this winter, we have our spotlight on the teams that we're playing, and all the teams that we're playing here this year were not in Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium last year. There's not one team that repeats coming to Lincoln this year, so our non-conference schedule is unbelievable, and so there's going to be good basketball, and hopefully we got a good team that'll challenge people.
Now, as you transition from the Central State 8 to the Apollo, obviously being in the Central State 8, you have game tape, game film on all those teams. Year in, year out what you're getting into. Going to a different conference, you're going to be playing teams that you've never seen before, and game tape is really key to one part of the coaching aspect, where game tape's a big part of it. Now, how do you retrieve some of that, or is it just something that's easy to get to now with the internet?
Well, I've not had to dig because our staff, or I believe that we want to see people in person. It's a whole different thing than just picking up the game tape. You really don't get the size of the kid. You don't get really a lot of the things that's going on. So we like to see everybody, and we do have film on our first 5 opponents because they're in our tournament. Then our first game out after the tournament is Taylorville, and they play on Tuesday night, the 21st, and we don't play that night, so we'll try to catch them. But we'll try to get out and try to see everybody play before we have to face them.
Now, with the new conference, is the schedule set up a little bit different where most of your games were on Friday, Saturday? Now
most of them are. I think we've got 2 or 3. The Midwinter Classic that we have, that's a little bit different. We've got 1 game on a Tuesday there, and then we've got a couple in February, which is okay because the Tuesday games, when you get into the regional, you have to play on Tuesday, Wednesday. Sometimes even if you're not having a great year, you have to play Monday, and that Tuesday night game really just kind of helps you get into the flow of things on playing on a middle of the week night.
You guys feel free to step in here. I mean,
did our design make it? Did our design make it onto the gym floor? Remember, we had the design of the Apollo Conference logo.
The logo's out there, not the logo,
not the official.
The word Apollo Conference is out there, but up on the wall with the banners is the logo for this Apollo Conference, and our kids are anxious to get started and play some different opponents. So that will be interesting for not only the kids but for the coaching staffs to prepare for them.
Yeah, I think along those lines, I think for the fans as well, we're excited to see some new teams come in here and see what happens when we flip the lights off and get it going, and see how they react to that. I think it's going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, gym looks really nice, Coach. A little brighter in there with painting the walls white. Really livens it up in there. So.
Yeah, it's bright. We redid the floor. You have to do that about every 20 years, is come in and watch them sand it completely down to bare wood, and then they come in and put the lines on, and it's amazing how the process of putting the floor back together.
That was my next question. I mean, that takes probably some talent, doesn't it, just to get it, the dimensions and all that lined up?
The rail splitters down the sideline and the railer in the middle, the painter. He came in and he had a rolled out piece of tape that he taped as big as that was, and he cut it out and he just started. It was kind of interesting to see him do it.
You used to do that kind of work back in your day.
Yeah.
I remember back in Bushnell, the big S in the middle of the football field. This guy here did it.
S for Bushnell?
Spartans.
That's the way they spell it over there.
Well, we don't know how to spell over there. So, but that's probably a little out of your.
Yeah, I kind of give that up. I've painted gym floors before, just the boundaries and things, and it's just something that you got to be really careful with, and you have to be very patient while you're doing it because it don't take a whole lot to really mess it up.
Well. That's why we let the
you take a step on the floor, and then you got to get the paint off the floor. But
so, Coach, we'll let you get going there. I know it's a busy day for you. With just got done with practice, shooting some free throws now. Feed the kids, and then pictures. You got another week of 2-a-days.
One more week, 5 days. And the kids think that we punished them. I think we punished the coaches more so.
Yeah,
than
you got to get up as well. And what they don't know is you're up probably 2 hours before they are.
Yeah.
They wake up, roll out of bed, and come here, whereas you guys are here and getting stuff ready. Well, another season is upon us. I just really can't believe it's already here. Just flies by.
And it'll be over before you know it.
Yep. College basketball kicked off last night, so I'm sure you watched a lot of that as well.
I watched a little bit. I didn't get the game I wanted, but I watched
Illinois, big winner.
Illinois was a big winner, which is interesting. So
after a follow-up from the Eastern debacle, but that's no big deal.
At Eastern, that kind of helped them out. They got a really, really young team, and, we were talking to Jeff, and a couple of their players, even though they were a 4- and 5-star recruit, he says these kids have not played more in front of 100 people.
Right.
And that blows my mind. And when you start thinking about that, and, I tell these kids, you got something that was pretty special here that you get to play. And, they I think that was a reason, but I think that helped them out for last night.
Kind of
they
an eye-opener.
Because that was
humble pie.
The Eastern, it was
they're
was
a good
bad.
team. They're a solid team
Eastern's
as well.
Not
They're
bad. And playing them on their home floor with they got 5 or 6 freshmen, and again, you got 18, 19-year-olds playing 21, 22, 23-year-olds, and that's a difference. It's. You can survive. You think of the high school level with the freshmen on the court, but if you start putting 3 and 4 freshmen on the court, you're not going to last. And those people have to be your young kids have to be your 4th and 5th options in your offense, where and your seniors are taking the top defenders. But when you're the top dog as freshmen, then you're getting the best defensive people thrown at you, and that makes a whole lot of difference. So I think they learn from it, and they turn around, play again tomorrow night, and
get our
and I'm
first look
sure
tomorrow.
After the big win last night, I'm sure they will be pumped up to play
and get a chance to go see the new stadium, State Farm. What do they call it? State Farm Arena.
I think so. I've not been in it. When Brian played, what would he have been? 99, 03. I think Jeff was at Idaho State, and he came back in 04 and played Illinois. And I went over to that one, but probably since 04, I haven't been in it, and I've not seen the upgrades that they've done. So I'm excited about doing that. As growing up as a young kid, I remember back, and this is really outdating myself, back in my first trip to the Assembly Hall was back in 1969 when I went to, back then it was just the one class playoffs, and back then, if you remember, it was Dalton Thornridge with Quinn Buckner and that group there.
Oh, you guys remember that?
Yeah, you guys probably...
not me. I was way before my time.
Quinn Buckner.
Your time too, Jake.
Went to Indiana.
I still
went
know
to
of it.
Indiana.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenal team, and you go back then, and during a state tournament, you had scalpers outside. It was jam-packed. Even the Assembly Hall had 16,000 people in it compared to what it is today. It's kind of, so I've seen it from there down to where it's at now, and it's really kind of sickening what's happened to our state basketball tournament. But we got to live with the changes and roll with the punches, and I think, hopefully our guys can come, and, we got a goal and we want to reach that goal. The goal is the same as always. We want to advance as far as we can in the state tournament, and, depending on the luck of the draw and how teams fall, this team's capable, but they've got to become more focused to where they want to play hard every day, and if they do that, then they're going to be a really, really, really good basketball team.
Well, Coach, thanks for taking some time with us this morning. We'll talk with you again in a couple weeks as get ready to start the holiday tournament, the Eaton Electrical Thanksgiving tournament. It kicks off the 20th. Monday night, and
played 8 o'clock against Centennial. Some good teams in there, and the thing that we have is Muhammad Seymour's in it, and we'll play them a week from Friday night, and that will be our first Apollo Conference game as well. That game will count in the standings, so we got to make sure that we're focused, and that's a game that we need to win. I would think Muhammad, along with Taylorville, will be probably the 2 top teams in the league. So those are our first 2 games. So we've got to come out of the gate strong, and if you can pick them off, and both of them are at home, which we have to win if we want a chance to win the conference. So that's a big game for us. The big game will be next Saturday morning, which I think probably the best team in the tournament is Danville. And instead of playing them Saturday night, which we have a hard time playing a team on the second game of a day, so we're playing them at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. So that is a change, and we would like to see a lot of fans come out to see probably the tournament championship, we hope.
Well, that's one of those games that it's hard maybe for a team to really get up for because you don't have that atmosphere.
Yeah.
So like you said, the more fans you could get out here, the more noise you make.
And Danville's used to it.
Oh yeah, they yeah. So yeah, we're not. We like that atmosphere where it boosts the kids up and it fires them up. So get on out here. It's going to be an exciting season. A new era begins, and it all starts with the annual Eaton Electrical Thanksgiving tournament.
I would like to say before we get out of here is next week we have on Tuesday we have the girls meet the railers. On Wednesday we have the wrestlers, and then on Thursday the boys. We have some construction out in front of our entry to the gym, so next week our fans will have to come into the front of the school and come down the hall to get to the gym. Their plans are to get a few things done and have it open for the tournament for the week of the Thanksgiving, and then come back and finish the week after the tournament if the weather permits. But right now it's off limits, and so people coming to meet the railers next week, and all three of them start at 6:30, and they'll need to come in the front of the school.
All right.
Good to know.
Well, he is the AD. He's the jack of all trades.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with game plans for getting around the gates, the hole in the sidewalks.
Is that just kind of a thing that was sprung up, or?
Well, over time, this place is getting old. The building and the awning was, not safe. Let's put it that way. And so they're going to tear the awning off and pour some concrete, take the step out, so it'll be a gradual walk up.
There you go.
Do some things that's going to sharpen it up, and they're going to put 4 big pillows up out there to hold it, and then when we're all done there'll be I think a nice sign of Lincoln Railers and up on top again, so it'll be nice when we get her done.
All right, Coach, well, you better get back to it, finish these kids up shooting free throws, and get on with the day, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Coach Al just saved our show. Thank goodness.
It's always good for a solid 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah. And so, it's basketball season, fellas. Jake?
I'm excited about playing the new teams, bringing them here to Roy S. and see what happens.
Yeah. Like you said, a lot of these teams haven't been in here.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been to a game at Roy S., there's nothing really like it. I mean, with lights out and, probably one of the best pet bands in the state of Illinois. And anywhere.
It gets loud.
And it gets loud. It gets exciting. It's got that college atmosphere. And it does. I've been coming to these games for 22 years, and it still makes the back of my, the hair on the back of your neck stick.
Well, I wonder if they're bringing them down through the hallway here, if they're going to, decorate it up as well.
I don't know. Well, the plan is to have them come through here, though.
Should it be done by the?
Well, he said they'll have
kind of questionable construction timing here, isn't it?
Well, I think it just kind of sprung up on them. A hazard issue. You don't want any lawsuits. If somebody falls,
awning crushes 50 people.
Yeah, that's not
that
good.
Could be a problem.
So it's an inconvenience for a few weeks.
Is
but
what it is.
It sounds like it's going to be nice.
Short-term inconvenience for long-term improvement.
Who is this guy?
I don't know. He's trying to act smart. And you're on this radio show, so you're.
Well, like for the baseball team, though, at least it'll be done. Fairly early in the season, whereas with the baseball team and their rebuild of the concession stands out there, I don't think they had until the actual regional game.
Yeah.
That the end of the very end of the season. So
that was poor management. I got to take this call. It's all you guys.
Well, last night was the Lincoln College Athletic Hall of Fame banquet, and
were you there?
I was not there. but a few local noteworthy names were included in that. I believe Mr. Bill Gossett made it into the Athletic Hall of Fame at Lincoln College, as well as Tom Zerkhammer, a longtime administrator and a alumnus of Lincoln College, and
Wait for it.
Dan Hemingway, former swim coach.
Really? All right.
Former swim coach at Lincoln College made it in. So congratulations to them on their achievements and their recognitions.
It's pretty awesome.
Nice little banquet at the college last night.
Yeah, did you go?
No.
Oh, so how you know it's nice?
I hear things.
Maybe it was horrible.
I hear things.
It's so cold.
No, I'm sure it wasn't. Anything Lincoln College puts on, it's going to be, that's a great honor for those guys,
Hey, a couple side notes. You guys may have touched on these.
Probably not.
A couple like this, what were you thinking moments, kind of opposite of hats off. One of my favorite pitchers, Roy Halladay.
I know where you're going.
Getting a little too aggressive with his flying. He owned his own plane. His dad was a pilot. He enjoyed, I guess, making quick dips towards the water and flying low. Made him feel like a fighter pilot, I guess. And it's like he ended up not making it through a flight there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's 40 years old.
4 years old, couple young kids. Just one of those things, I guess taking some things for granted a little bit there. And then also the UCLA basketball players over there in China.
What beep are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, China's not like the United States of America.
No.
People can want to say negative things about being in the United States. In the United States, you get due process. The crime basically fits the punishment, generally speaking.
China,
if you do something wrong, you could be the president's son. You may lose a hand for shoplifting.
Mm-hmm.
That's that kind of country. That's
unfortunate.
The U.S. diplomats are going to have to be involved with this. Otherwise,
President Trump's over there, or was over there. So I don't know if maybe that influenced them getting out of jail.
Well, they're out of jail, but they can't leave the country.
They can't leave the country.
So UCLA is going to be playing their first game without three of their big studs.
Yeah.
So
that's
what were they thinking?
Jim, what were they thinking? Well, that's going to do it for us. I would like to thank all of our veterans. Today is Veterans Day, and a lot of veterans out there that our hats off goes to them, for what they've done for our country, what they are doing for our country, and can't thank them enough. So if you see a veteran today, go shake their hand and tell them thanks, because today is their day, and without them, freedom of speech wouldn't be possible, and we're free to talk about anything we want right here. Right, Loyd?
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part. I mean, we can say just about anything.
Just about.
Couple words.
I've got a couple fines there.
Next week, I think we might be at Joe's. If Joe's around, I don't know.
We'll see. Hats off to Joe and his young man.
Hats off to you for showing up halfway through the show.
I am a team member.
You are a team member. You're better late than never, is what they say. And, thanks for Coach Al for saving the program. Exciting things going on out here. Should have a solid basketball team this year.
Hats off.
In the Apollo. Hats off.
Shabba-dabba-doo.
Yabba-dooba-doo. All right, that's going to do it for us here at the high school. We will talk with you next week from Joe Ryan Country Financial.
Good day.